this works. All depends on the upload speed. It is. Hey, we've made it. Hi everyone. Let's see if we can catch anything. Just angle that. There we go. So I've got my head in now. Let's see if we can catch anything. Just angle that. There we go. So I've got my head in now. There, we're getting better. Thanks for joining us. We're on the River Irwell at Agecroft in North Manchester. You might see in the distance to my right behind me is my friend Phil, and he's putting me to shame. He's had a grayling, second cast. I've been here since 10 o'clock, 10:30 this morning, and not had a touch. Phil's rolled up, second cast. Away he goes. I'd like to say beginner's luck, but he did it to me last week as well. I said, come and join me here on the Irwell. He said, it's really difficult. And he had a trout second cast. He thinks this place, he's got 100% success rate on this swim now. He thinks it's easy. Wife's on the phone. Hello. Do I have my what? I've not got a clue. Why? Okay. Well, just hold on 1 minute. You've got me all agitated now. I've got my keys in my pocket. Have fun. See you later. Bye. Yeah, okay. Bye. Oh wow, domestics, eh? Have you got your keys in your pocket? I'm going out you're picking up the kids, which I am. So if you're watching, say hello in the chat and we can have a bit of a conversation. Oh, look at that. It's a lovely day. It's cold though, it's 5 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit old money, probably about 42. I've not got a hat, so winter's over. I've not got gloves on. The birds are noisy. I feel spring's just round the corner. And in Phil's swim, the fish are biting, and in my swim, they're not yet. So I'm fishing worm feeder on this rod, on the left rod, and on the right rod I've got a maggot feeder and a little bit of liquidized bread in the feeder, just to give a little bit of attraction. And so far all of the fish that have been caught out of this swim have all been caught on maggot. Did you catch that trout and maggot or worm? Phil? It was a worm. Ah, they've come out to maggots and to worms. What do I know? But neither of them to my rod. But I went fishing on the River Tame with Phil a couple of days ago, and thankfully I didn't embarrass myself, and I caught the first fish of the day, just to prove to him that I do put hooks on the line and bait, and I do know how to fish. But we went to a place where they recently released 4,000 silverfish, roach, dace and chub. And we couldn't catch any of those. We could only catch a trout each. There was no sign of the 4,000 fish that had been released, which is about typical, really, isn't it? But it's a lovely day in Manchester. I'm glad to be out fishing. I've been out since 10:30. Just enjoying myself, listening to the birds, watching the world go by, not catching any fish, watching my friend catch a fish. What can we do? I've had a few fishing sessions since I last went live. I went on the River Bolin near Manchester Airport in South Manchester. I must be mad. I went wading in February, and after an hour I couldn't feel my toes. I didn't catch any fish. I was going to stay all day, and I packed up after an hour and went home because it was so cold. That was a bit of a dust. It was a nice place. It was a bit of a disappointment on the fishing front. Then we went to the River Tame, as I just said. It's a location where they released 4,000 fish, and all we could do was catch a trout. And I was going to go out yesterday to Bradshaw's and go perch fishing. It's a good spot for perch fishing, Bradshaw's. And domestic life just took over, and I never got out. I had so many little jobs to do. And my online shop was busy, so that kept me going as well. Obviously now the sun's shining and it's no longer, winter's coming to an end. Anglers are getting active, and I started selling a bit of gear over the last few days. So I had 30 odd orders to pack up and send out, so that kept me busy. I was going to squeeze some fishing in the middle of it, but at the end of the day I'm glad that I didn't, because I was still wrapping orders at 11 o'clock last night. So it's nice to be busy. It keeps me going, doesn't it? It means I don't have to get a proper job. I've had those before and I don't like them. But if you're watching, say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're from, where you go fishing, and we'll have some fun. I'm just going to put the phone down and have a recast. This one that I'm reeling in, this is the worm feeder. I'll put maggots and liquidised bread in the feeder, or just a section of worm on the hook. Oh. See, simple rig, a little bit of worm, feeder, and hope that something comes along. Irwell Beach Angling Association, hello to you. How's it going? Are you taking part in the there's a lot of species hunt angling taking place these days, which is good fun. I like a good species hunt. There's going to be a couple of coarse fishing species hunts on the Mersey this year, and on here, they're all the same river. Organised by the Mersey Rivers Trust. Let's have a look. Carp still untouched, these maggots. How depressing. How depressing. Come on, fishes. Hello Matt, thanks for the subscribe and the like, much appreciated. Every time I ask on here, don't forget to like and subscribe. My subscriber count goes down by about 5 as people unsubscribe. There we go, one far bank, one mid river. Let's see how they settle. They're a tiny bit light, these feeders. They could both do with being an extra 10 grams each, because sometimes they just bob in the flow. Let me see. Oh, it's Carl. that Carl Nichols? Are you now the Irwell Beach Angling Association? Hiya, Carl. Carl, I'm just in the middle of buying a boat. I must be mad. It's disgusting. It's puke yellow. It's got no engine. It's got sails. Haha. It's 23 foot long and it's in Fleetwood. That's going to be a bit of fun, isn't it? You promised me, if it is Carl Nichols who's watching, you promised me a trip out on your boat. You never took me. So I've had to buy my own. Right, let's have a look. Oh, that's a nice. A pal of mine's just sent me a picture higher up the Irwell. I'm not going to say where, but he's trotting maggots for grayling, and he's just had a £5 brownie. It's a nice fish, isn't it? It's one of the things about this river, you don't catch many fish, but when you do, they always tend to be good. So I think a £5 brownie from any river at any time of the year is fantastic. But this old Irwell keeps throwing up monster trout. So my pal's just had one this morning while he was trotting maggots for grayling. But it's a nice day, and hopefully a nice the start of some winter. I hate, as I said many times, I hate winter. So this past winter, or the winter that we're just in now, I've been away for half. I had a lovely holiday in South Africa, lovely and hot. Their summer, and it really broke things up. And instead of getting my normal SAD disease, I feel much better, happier, mentally calmer, in a better place. That's the best description. We had a lovely holiday in the middle of it. So I hate the 10 dark weeks in Manchester, and it's I think is it 17th of November to something the 20th of January are the dark weeks, when it starts going dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, doesn't get light till 9 o'clock in the morning. Bloody miserable. Depresses us all, especially in Manchester with non-stop rains as well. So not only do you get really dark weather, but you just get miserable rain. But it looks like everyone's having a good time on the river today. All of my pals who are out, apart from me, because Phil over here to my right, he's caught a nice grayling, and my friend Mark, who's fishing about 5 miles upstream, he's had a nice brown trout, and I've had nothing apart from a vitamin D. Let's see who's out here. Irwell Beach Angling Association. Oh my, everyone from the Irwell. Tony Shep's here. Tony, you still in Bath, or are you back, pal? You made it back. Did you have a good holiday? Ooh, there we go. I'm in. Nice fish as well. Oh wow, it's off. That was a big fish. That was a big fish. A big trout. Yeah, massive trout. Look at this thing. Wow, what a fish. Did it snap you off? No. It just came off. Let's just have a look at the hook now and see if I've still got a hook on. Wow. That snapped you off, didn't it? Yeah. Yes, snap the hook off. Wow, and that's 4 pound 12 ounce bacon string. That's a big trout there. That was a big trout. So that was £5 breaking strain hook length. It's gone. Snap like cotton. It is, what a fish.
I'd have rather snap £10 hook
So
down
this,
on the Mersey.
this rod here, this is on £8 hook length.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have an upgrade, I think.
Yeah, I'm £5 on that one. Maybe.
And the rod tip just went boom. Oh,
Hey, they're here.
they're here.
I reckon it was that.
Yes, very possibly. Yeah. Wow, that was a plonker. Wow. What can I say? I can't catch them. When I catch a huge fish, like I was just talking about, or hook one, I think hopefully you've seen it. It's picked up on the GoPro. It just launched itself 3 feet out of the water and snapped me at the hook on the hook links, and I'm using 0.15 reflow power line, which is 5 pound breaking strain. Ping! And that's exactly where that fish just jumped. This way it took me, so it's there. Wow. Tony Shep's probably your fault. Yeah, it was. I'm going to blame you. You owe me, Tony. Right then, let's have a look in my box of tricks. Let's see what I've got. We're going to up it now. That was on the maggot feeder. Wasn't interested in worm. That was on maggot feeder. Massive brownie. Wow. Right then, I'm going to sit down for a second and we'll go on. We're going to have a guru session. I'm going to 12 pound hook length and a size 16 micro barbed hook. Can you? That's what I'm going to go on to. Can you see that? I don't know if it focuses or not. You see the size of that fish? Blooming heck. Oh, my missus is going to be laughing at me now. When I come home and she says, "Did you catch a fish today?" And I said, "No, I caught a huge one that got off." The level of abuse that I receive will be off the scale. Wow. Happy. Oh, let's try this. There we go. So I didn't catch a fish live on camera. I lost one. A massive one. Estimate, I've caught lots of big trout from here. Estimate on that trout was a minimum of £6. Minimum of £6.
It's got to be £5-6 minimum.
Easy, that one.
Snap that line like that.
Yeah, well, wait till you see when I edit that bit of footage. I'll clip that bit of footage later and you'll see the size of it. It's like a salmon. It was a monster and it got off. I'm going to blame Tony Shep for that forever. The next time I say, "Are you lost because of you?" Now, knot wise, you can't pick it up, but I always use, after years of using tucked half blood knots, which let me down forever, I've swapped over and I now use a uni knot. And according to knot strength tests, uni knots and Palomar knots have the highest strength retention ratio of any of the knots, and much stronger. I think they're at about 95% of the breaking strain of your line, whereas when you're using tucked half blood knots, it drops to about 75-80. So there's a really big difference in using a decent knot. Oh, can't believe it. I can't believe it. Let me just tidy this up. put your line in your pocket and take it home. It is bad for the environment and you can recycle it. So none of that snipping it up into small pieces rubbish and throwing it on the floor. I've always got an inside pocket where I can collect line. Oh. Hey, the excitement and the disappointment of losing a good fish. Oh, let's have a go. Absolutely trolleyed me, that one. Tony Shep's fault. We go on another uni knot here. One. Pass it through 4 times and it always does the trick. You don't need to do more than 4. It's like tying a water knot when you're tying droppers on a trout line. You can get away with 3. 4's great. Any more than 4 is totally unnecessary. Oh, I'm going to lose sleep over that now. The vision of that monster trout leaping and smashing me. So I used to fish at the, specifically for trout at the junction of the River Roach and the River Irwell many years ago. Before they remodeled that bit of river, it's not as good now. And I used to fish pellets and a PVA bag with pellet and hard pellet on the hook. 15mm halibut pellet. Proper donkey choker. And look at that, there we go. That's reset up. Can you see a red and a white maggot is known as a Man United. There we go. There we go, it's more like it. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that was a good fish. Just in the middle of the float. Lovely rat-a-tat-tat bite as well. Right then, let's see who's been abusing me on the internet. Who's laughing at me? Where is it we're fishing? Carl, we're fishing on the River Irwell at Agecroft in Manchester. I can't believe I missed that. Well, my biggest on the Irwell is an 8-pound brownie. And I caught, it was quite a while since I caught that one. And that was about a mile further downstream from here. Oh, it's a good fish. Rod tip went rat-a-tat-tat, struck in, and it just launched itself up in the air. It'll be really interesting to see how that comes out on the GoPro footage in a minute, because it was just It's like someone throwing a great big boulder in the river, massive splat. But they're not daft trout. I've like seen before, yeah. But up at Springwater Park, the trout always used to take you on a run like a carp or a barbel to the end of the pool, and then they'd always leap in the air and try and hit the line with the tail to snap, to either pull the hook out or snap you off. And I learnt very quickly not to fish with line less than 6 pound breaking strain as the hook length. And I've broken my own rule now because it's such a long time since I've been fishing. I was hoping for coarse fish more than anything else. But I think I need to have a look at what line I'm using. Well, I already have done because now I'm on that 12 pound guru. I think that's probably too high. I'm going to look in my box and see if I've got any 8 pound guru hook limit. Because the fish don't see that many anglers, so they're not line or hook shy, so you can, I know I'm saying it after the Lord Mayor's parade, so to speak, but you can fish stronger hook lengths on the Irwell. What's it like for trotting? Well, it depends where you are. To be honest with you, I think if you're going to go trotting and you want a day's busy action, you need to go on the Dee or the Ribble. The Irwell's far more of a waiting game. Oh, I'm gutted. That would be £6 brown like that if it landed that. That'd be the fish of a lifetime for many people, wouldn't it? What can you do? The Dee is great. Yeah, do you know what, Carl, it is? I used to go fishing there at Farndon on the free. Do you know where the free pegs are at Farndon? And it was brilliant for winter roach and pike. But I've never fished the Dee. I've never fished it anywhere else actually. I've never been on any of the other sections of the River Dee. It's just that little bit too far for me to drive to on a regular basis. So, you see, in between me and the Dee, I've got the Irwell, the Ship Canal, the Bollin, the Dane, the Weaver, and then the River Dee. So it's just a bit of a trek. So between me and Phil, who's down there to my right, there's 4 rods in. Phil's had a grayling, quite a nice one, over £1. I've lost that big brown trout. Whoa, look at that. And we've got another hour of fishing before I go that way to pick up the kids from school, and Phil goes that way to pick his kids up from school. So. But I reckon if I keep fishing this swim, obviously I'm not going to now until the 16th, well, once the season finishes, I'm not going to fish it until the 16th of June, but this summer, put a bit of time in on this swim. It'll be really interesting to see what comes along. Obviously it's producing trout and grayling, but there are barbel, carp, bream, chub, fish of all species in this river. So it's literally 5 minutes from my front door. And these few sessions that I've done here on Fishing Live are the only times I've ever fished this swim, which is very remiss of me. So I should. So there we go. Can have a day on the Weaver. Do you know what? I love a day on the Weaver. I used to fish it with my dad as a kid near Hertford Bridge, was the place. It was a day ticket, something like 20p for me in those days when I was a kid. And used to catch skimmers. But we're back to reality now. Static rod tips, just not moving. But it's given me great, even though I lost a fabulous fish there, it's given me great encouragement now to come back. And I'm not coming on a fool's errand, so to speak. There we go. Okay, I've got 10 people viewing. It's nearly a record. I think my record is 11. No, 12, sorry. 12 viewers at once. The people who are at work, who should have better things to do. You should be looking at spreadsheets instead of watching me fishing. Do I fish the Mersey behind Grey Mist? No, because that's on the Warrington card, I think. And that reminds me, those of you might not know, poor old Frank Lithgow, who was the secretary of Warrington for decades, and was a really nice guy, fished all over the world. He was a wonderful, nice bloke and a great fisherman. He's recently passed away, and I'm going to go to his funeral at the beginning of March. I think it's early next week. So I'll go and pay my respects, because I should do. I like Frank, he was a really nice bloke. I used to go and spray the weeds at Grey Mist for him, to help control the water lily, the overgrowth of water lilies and things like that. And it was like, I'll pay you. And I said, all right, I'll send you an invoice. I never once sent him an invoice, ever. And then he realised after a while that I was never going to invoice him for the work. On the salty sea on a boat, or on the river Irwell with a blanking stick. Must say, I saw your pictures of Barbados, Tony, and I am suitably jealous. I've never been anywhere in the Caribbean, and it looked fantastic. Yeah, it's true. Wirral Beach fishing. Frank was a lovely bloke, and his wife Linda, I'm sure she'll be very upset. And his daughter was an excellent angler as well, wasn't she? I can't remember her name. I think she fished for England ladies. But he was very, very well respected amongst all of the other fishing club committees in the northwest of England, and on a national basis as well, with the Canal and Rivers Trust and Angling Trust and people like that. He was a lovely, lovely bloke. Like most of us anglers, didn't talk a lot, and then once you got him going on about fishing, he couldn't stop. His daughter was Wendy, right? Tony says the fishing's not that good in Barbados. Oh dear, hardied hard, eh? But the beach and the beer were okay though. Sometimes that's the problem when you go to a place that's popular on holiday, because so many people go there. The fishing's not that good. I went to Mallorca a few years ago, and my wife was going, oh, why don't you have a day's fishing? Go on have a day's fishing. And I went down the harbour, and it was €1,600 for a day's tuna fishing. €1,600 for a day's tuna fishing. I sobbed that. And then I spoke to him, and they said, oh yeah, we do bottom fishing. It's €80 for 4 hours. So I did that, and I caught a few like black bream and stuff like that. Nothing bigger than that. And then I found a shop selling cheap fishing tackle, and I bought some cheap fishing tackle. I went off the rocks in the harbour at where we were, Alcudia, and off the beach. And I bagged up on little LRF, little blobs of bread and little blobs of prawn. Must have caught about 10 different species of fish in an afternoon. We're going to Cape Town next. Well, I've just come back from Cape Town, and the fishing there off the beach is CRAP. Because 3/4 of it is a marine protected no fishing zone, and the other bits are covered in kelp. Must say, I did enjoy the holiday though. I took fishing kit. I was enjoying myself so much with the kit. I just didn't have the heart to go out fishing and leave them. Wirral beach fishing. You said that before. You're going to take me out on your boat, and you never did. Now I've bought my own boat, mate. I've got a yellow one. It's the most disgusting colour. It's the most disgusting colour. I'm going to make a video with it soon. Because I've shook hands on it, but I haven't paid for it. I'm actually exchanging the cash is being exchanged on Sunday morning. We've shook hands on the deal. But it is the most disgusting colour you can ever imagine. And that's just the paint on the outside. Now, Tony Shep, what's this? What's going to be the end of October or early November? When you go to Cape Town, or when you buy a boat? Because you told me you were going to buy a boat as well. Here we go. Apparently now there's 14 people watching, which is amazing. Amazing that all of those people who should be working at their desk and earning an honest living are watching me frittering my life away on the end of these 2 rod tips that are no longer moving. But for anybody who's just recently tuned in, you've missed the action so far. Phil, who's fishing to my right, don't know if we can see him or not because I'm blocking him out all the time. He's over there. He's at the grayling. And I've lost a monstrously sized, king size, biggest brown trout in the world. It's huge. It's going to get bigger every time I tell the story. We started at, it was about £5. I'm up to 6 now. It won't be long before, by the time I get home, I'll be telling my wife that I've lost an 8-pounder. And the next time I go to the pub, it's going to be 10 as a minimum. It's a lovely day to be out. I'll give it another. Ooh, another 10 minutes. We'll have a recast on each rod. There we give everyone an emoji. There we go. But Tony, you'll love Cape Town. It was an amazing city. Really enjoyed it. So I hope you go a better route than I did, because I'm tight and I have to pay for all my family's tickets, or wife and kids and all of that. I have to buy 4 tickets. So instead of going British Airways or whoever, you know, Air France or whoever, a normal carrier, I went with, what was it called now? TAP Portugal, which was okay, and then we went with Air Angola, which was the airline from hell. So instead of it costing me £1,000 a ticket, actually it cost me 550 quid a ticket. So it was worthwhile to go the slightly slower route. But wow, that aeroplane was old. And there was a lot of people on it, and they had a huge amount of baggage. But Cape Town was brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. There's loads to do. We went for 3 weeks and had a tour around South Africa. You could do just 3 weeks on its own in Cape Town. So if you, I know you're going to be retired by then, Tony, so you'll have the time. Go for longer than 3 weeks, because just 3 weeks isn't enough to. You're not even scratching the surface of all the great things that there is to do. I mean, there's seals. There's great. I saw great white sharks. Saw penguins on the beach. Went to the Cape of Good Hope. Went to Cape of Gulhus, the most southerly point of Africa. I mean, the wildlife's off the scale. There's like lizards everywhere. It's brilliant. And then there's all the safari stuff as well. Right then, I'm itching to have a recast now. I'm overdue. I'm overdue a recast, I think. Can't believe that the reality of losing that big trout now is beginning to hit home. I'm sad. Tony says he's still thinking about a boat, but not a yellow boat. Yeah. Well, Tony, I'm going to be out with the tin of red paint fairly soon. It ain't gonna stay yellow for long, but. I've got a feeling, Tony, that your boat will have a pair of big Yamaha or Honda engines on the back, whereas my boat's got some mildewed and very poor quality looking sails and no engine, so I'm going to have to get an engine. Well, I've already got an engine. It's too small. I'm going to have to buy a new engine and stick it on the back as emergency propulsion, is the phrase. I do like sailing. I sailed in Cornwall. I've sailed in done the Great Barrier Reef on a boat in Australia. Where else have I been? All around Turkey. Sailing club at Lee Flash. There we go. Recast time. Oh, you're retired, but your missus won't be. That's right. Keep your wife at work, Tony. Very good plan. Keep your wife at work, pal. Then the day still belongs to you. So she'll have you doing all the cleaning now. I'm at work and you're at home. I know that. I know that line. That is one of the disadvantages of retiring before your missus. I'm at work and you can do all the cleaning. Get this one back in. There we go, just under that green tree. Maggot line. I think this time with the maggots I'm going to drop it in short into the near bank and see what happens. Okay, that's still not been touched. Impressive. There we go, short on this time. We'll just see what happens. Yeah. Right, let's see what the chat's up to. Oh, your wife works from... Oh, the same as me. My wife got a new job because she used to work in Bury, so we live in Prestwich in North Manchester. My wife only worked 2 miles away. She got a new job on the Wirral, which is over an hour away. Yay! Like that. It's Ricky watching, like Mrs. D. She got a job on the Wirral. And she spent a few weeks out there doing various training courses, meeting everybody, getting the hang of it. And now she works from home and she sits next to me at my desk. And you know what the worst thing about having my wife working from home? She turns the heating up all winter. It'll be on now and she won't even be in the house while I'm out. Absolutely drives me nuts. But it doesn't annoy me as much as losing big fish. The left-hand rod tip just lifted and dropped. I think that's the feeder emptying in the flow and just bouncing with the current slightly. When you get a fish, you tend to get a more that type of movement. This one was just a draw back and a drop down again, a draw back and a drop down. But I don't strike on those movements. There, draw back and just drop down again. You see, I'm fishing, the flow's reasonably strong today because it's been rained the last few days. And this one is like, it's casting a 90-degree angle straight across the river. Whereas the right hand rod is cast slightly downstream at an angle, so the angle of the downstream just takes the pressure off the feeder. That's my non-scientific reckoning to it anyway. Can't wait to go through the footage tonight when I get in to have a look at that fish. I reckon if you're watching and you scroll back to about 10 minutes in, well, that rod tip's going quite a bit now. We'll just have a pull in and see, because no, nothing there. There's no harm in having a try sometimes. I think I need another 10 gram on these feeders, 10 grams of lead, just to make them really stick to the bottom. There we go, 10 grams short of a full shilling. If you look at maggot and liquidised bread in that feeder, so this one we're taking long on over near that green tree. And that's in the stronger flow. And then the right hand rod much closer in and downstream. So you can see the rod tip now moving, and that is most definitely the flow of the feeder just finding a place to settle. Just pulls back and drop. There we go. You can see when it's a fish, it's a much more aggressive rat-a-tat-tat. On that last fish, the monster trout that I just lost, it just went boom all the way over. But that'll be interesting to say. That's going to be interesting to look at on the playback, which I reckon is about 10 minutes in. But it's all good fun. Right, let's have a look at it now. Oh. 6 watchers and no recent chats. There we go, send you a smiley face. Oh, that fish was a beast. Ungutted. Big brown. Funny that, isn't it? When you think of the Irwell and you say brownie, some people will give it a completely different thought process. I don't think brownie is a fish. I think the brownie is what the Irwell's actually famous for. Anyway, Tony, was the beer good in Barbados? That's what I want to know. The hotter it is, the more the sun shines, the better the beer tastes. There's definitely a ratio, a correlation. Yeah, and I bet when you come back to Manchester from Barbados, Tony, and there's a bit of a difference in temperature between those beaches in Barbados and winter in Eccles, like Monson, sorry. Same place but different.
Got your moment of glory.
Can you see the fish in the river?
You see it.
Oh no. So Phil, who's sitting to my right, how long into the live stream is it? Does it not give you a...
It does, but mine is 38:30, but that'll be time out from when you...
Yeah. I'll look at it tonight, it'll be fun that. It was a good fish.
What?
I'll
Just above those trees over there.
yeah. I'll lie awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, cursing the fact that I only had £5 hook length on. So if you're watching, say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're from, where you go fishing, and we can have a natter. And it saves me just talking to myself, which is what I do a lot of that. Anyway, Tony, if you're still watching, I'm talking about beer and it's making me want a beer. So I've not had a beer now for 2 months. I decided I was going to do a dry January. It's extended, so I've done the entirety of January and the entirety of February now. And I don't think it's going to it's not going to last much longer. So I do enjoy a beer. Come on, just really let's up to the food again. So Phil, over there, he was just having a review of the footage. and he says that you can see it quite clearly on the video.
First breakage.
Oh, he's had a broken maggot.
No, there's a line broke on a snag.
Oh right, you've got you.
Yeah.
Well, I've not hit any snags in this swim yet.
No, that's the first one I did.
It's a difficult angle to stand at this, to look at you guys and say, to engage and have a chat. And then I've got to look this way from the rod tips. And if I stand over there, then you lose the sound. So I need to buy one of these clip-on Wi-Fi linear mics. That could be a purchase for this weekend. Yeah, I could look at the screen here and watch myself fishing on the screen, but there's like a 30-second time lag between what you're watching and real life. I haven't worn this coat in ages. It's got a pocket full of that bait elastic, that pocket, bait elastic in this pocket. What else have we got? Splits, number 4 split shot and bait elastic. Now, there's two products that don't go together. But it's nice and warm, this coat. So I reckon we're just about to start the last half hour now. I reckon that the camera battery will probably go about any time from about 1:15. In fact, let me just have a quick look behind. Yeah, I reckon we're on the last 20 minutes. And I won't mind a cup of tea before I pick the kids up from school because oh my gosh, they're full on. Want my attention. Friday night, it's pizza night at my house. If anybody wants to come round, they're always welcome. Any of my pals who know me. It's homemade pizzas a la Mike. Lovely homemade pizza dough already made this morning. 50% wholemeal flour, 50% strong white Allison's flour. No additives or salt, very healthy. And a lovely tomato and red pepper topping, sauce, Tesco's organic mozzarella cheese on the top. Lovely. I could eat every day. In fact, my son this morning, he had I make, because he likes them, he has it for his school dinners. And I made one last week. It was a bit too big, so he's had pizza for breakfast, pizza for lunch, and he's having pizza again this evening. It's a 12-year-old's dream. Well, I hope we're going to get some more action. I mean, it would have been great, wouldn't it, to get a big trout on a live stream. I mean, it really was a good one as well. That's life sometimes, isn't it? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect, if I'd have expected a trout to hook and fish that size, I would have set up differently. I would have set up the rig differently. And now it's got me thinking that maybe if I catch a trout of that size, and that smashes me. What will happen if I catch one of the mythical Irwell carp or barbel? What will that do to me? So I think I'm going to have to a long hard think about how I've set up here with regards to my terminal tackle and my strength. It was a size 16 guru hook, micro barbed, a 5 pound hook length on reflow power line, 0.15 power line, and it just snapped it near right at the end. So it could actually have been the trout's teeth. The trout has got a decent set of teeth on them, and it could have been the trout's teeth that just went cut that line. So I need to have a think. Could fish braid, but I don't really like using braid as a hook length. That's always an option. I think if I'd have been using braid, I would have certainly landed that fish. So I need to take a leaf or two out of barbel angles and just set up with the barbel rig, and then just see what comes along. So far there's still only the one fish being landed this afternoon. Just the grayling, which started off at about a pound, but I've stretched that now, so it was a 5 pound grayling. And I had obviously the huge monster Ferox 30 pound wild brownie that snapped the line. Honestly, it was about 6 pound. Still a tremendous fish. It just goes to show they're here, and you can have a lot of fun and catch special fish by not fishing commercials and just doing something different. And this is the swim that's nearest to my house. You've seen it contains brownies, grayling. Fantastic. 5 minutes that way, up that hill I live. So, people watching, say hello, come on. Get in the chat, introduce yourself. O'clock. 2:05, we'll have another chuck in. I'll push the boat out and I'll put a fresh worm on. Hiya Lee, thanks for joining the chat, pal. I've lost a big brownie, so if you scroll back to about 10 minutes in, I hook a big brownie of about 6 pound, jumps out into the air, smashes me, got smashed up. It's 5 pound hook length. And Phil, who's fishing over here, to my right, he's had a nice grayling. So it's not been a disaster today. Close to a disaster, losing a big fish, but it's nice to see it. Are you going to come down and join us one day, Lee? And come and have a fish? Because you know where we are. But what I'll do with that fish, I'll scroll through later on, and then I'll make a clip of that fish, and I'll make a little YouTube short and post it up for you all, so you can have a look instead of like scrolling through an hour of video just looking for it. I'll sort it out this evening, make a little clip, and we'll get another "oh no" type video. Don't know what I'm going to do about fishing this weekend. I'm going to Workington on tomorrow to watch FC United versus Workington. So my little boy insists that we go there, so you can't say no to a 12-year-old. So going up there, and then on Sunday I'm going to buy a boat. I'm going to hand over the cash. I've agreed the deal. I shook his hand, and Sunday I go up there, part with my cash and collect the keys, which is going to be interesting. You're fishing Pillsworth tomorrow. Ah, brilliant. Pillsworth's a really interesting place, isn't it? Because everyone goes for the pike, for the carp. There's actually pike in there as well. And very few people fish for the pike and the perch in Pillsworth. And there's quite a good head of pike in Pillsworth. I used to go, I fished it many years ago when, not Kevin Ashurst, what was his dad called? Can't remember now, come on. Benny Ashurst used to own. And used to be quite a popular match fisher for quite a long time, but then obviously cormorants have come along, different owners, the carp scene's taken over. It was actually Pillsworth, one of the first place where I saw someone catch a big carp in the northwest of England before carp fishing was a thing. And a guy was fishing the reed beds nearest to the car park end of the lake, you know, the opposite end to the dam wall, the nearest end to the car park. He was fishing the reed beds there with floating bread crust, and he had a common of about 12 pounds, which these days isn't a big fish, but I was probably only in my early teens in those days. The biggest coarse fish I'd ever seen in my life. I can still remember, I can still picture that fish in my mind right now. Just had some nice things. They have an impact on you, don't they? When you see something that's extraordinarily different from what you're used to. You're fishing the match. Oh, I'd be really interested to know how you get on that match lake, Lee. At the back. I'd be really. So let me know next time we're chatting how you get on that match lake on the back of Pillsworth. So I've had some really good sessions there on the pole. Again, so if you were to park in the car park, the main car park at Pillsworth, and then you would go up the match lake, there's a big island that runs through the middle of the match lake to separate one side of it from the other. And at the tip of that island, on the furthest part away, I used to fish a pole or a feeder onto the corner of that tip of the island where it goes around the bend, and the number of fish I've caught from that swim. Absolutely great fun. I've not fished it at this time of the year, so I don't know how it would fish, but I've always fished there in the summer. Yeah, you have seen me do a video of motorbike going up the hill. I have done a video there of drop shotting at Pillsworth. I think I had a couple of small perch out from under the trees. It wasn't very successful day out, that. I thought it might be good, and it turned out to be not very good. You'll drop me a message that you've blanked. You won't, you'll do well, it's great fun. Good fun at Pillsworth. These rod tips aren't moving. It's depressing, isn't it? Come on. Right, I think it's 6 minutes past 2. I'll have a recast, so bear with me a minute. One thing that's nice about this one, there's no snags. Neither Phil, who's to my right, or myself, have lost anything in a snag yet, or even felt a snag. So it's obviously a nice clean bottom, which is like a, oh, look at that. That's the problem with the Irwell. It's like 3 worms and it's toilet paper on your hook. That's disgusting, isn't it? I hate that water company. Right, a fresh worm. I'm going to sit down for a minute. You can't see me now, but I can. Got rooting about in the bottom of these worms. There we go. Nice big fat one. That's what you want to. You want your worms like your reefers. A big fat one. That's what Tony had in Barbados. So we got the locals to roll him on the beach. I want a big fat one. Yeah. One more bite before we finish is what we need. Yeah. Even a bite on this river is a successful day, let alone catching a lovely grayling.
Pushing £5 now.
Yeah, the £5 grayling. Yeah. Mid-river. Tighten up a little bit. Jobs are good. Oh, a big long message from Lee here. I'll get my glasses out. Oh, you know the peg that I'm talking about, and you think it'll fish hard. It's still cold. I mean, last night it was, what, 1-2 degrees centigrade? It does affect the fish, no matter what, you know. Water temperatures are still very low. Fishing, it really kicks in fishing around it. When we get to 10 degree water temperature of 10 degrees, that's what we're after. Ooh. That left-hand rod just very slowly. I think it's the feeder, because the left-hand rod's much stronger flow than the right one. Pillsworth fishery is good fun. It is. It's good sometimes to go somewhere you know you're going to catch a few. So my go-to fishery like that is always Bradshaw's. I just go and drop on for a few hours, fill your boots. In the winter it's brilliant perch fishing. Really good perch fishing. So I made a few videos about Bradshaw's in the past. I think the one problem with Bradshaw's, I can't do any live fishing from there because the phone signal's absolutely terrible, or it used to be. I'd need to go and check it out. If you get a bad signal, then you end up with a buffering live stream, which is no good. That's not what we want at all, is it? But that trout bite earlier, that rod just went bang, bang, bang. I struck, tightened into the fish, and it jumped about 2-3 feet in the air, smashed me up, and that was it. It was the excitement. You'll miss it. Ooh, see that last rod? The feeder just lifts and resettles in the flow. Yeah, if you fish Dendrobina over chopped worm at Bradshaw's on lakes 2, 3 or 4, the perch fishing is tremendous. It normally takes a little while for them to come and find your bait, but once they're on it, once they find it, the perch fishing is brilliant. You get the odd rogue carp at F1, but there's not many places where you can go, and once you get your swim set up, your fish are averaging a pound perch. It's brilliant. You don't catch many small ones on there. And obviously, there's no pike in Bradshaw's, is there? So the perch is the main predator. Come on, fishes. Do your thing. Yeah, check the dates, but I might have a funeral on Tuesday. We shall see. Oh, I've got a message on. Someone sent me a message on Messenger, not a messenger, a message. Let's have a quick check. See, that's somebody's written here on, sent me a message saying that all I'm fit for is making the brews and I should watch other people fish. He's probably right. And probably, to be fair, me making a brew is a more exciting video than this. I leave the tea bag in for a long time, no sugar and only a splash of milk. Anybody who has milky tea, milky weak tea, honestly, it just, oh, it makes me want to throw. People that put the milk in with the tea bag before the hot water, they all need to be, what's the correct word for that? Ostracised from civilised society. Peter Bergin, that's mean, that, telling that all I'm fit for is making the tea. That's mean. You only live down there. I know which house you live. I'm coming down there in a minute. Peter Bergin, who's criticising my fishing, lives even closer to the river than I do. Just on the other side of that bridge. And he doesn't even bring me a cup of tea while I'm fishing, Peter. You could put the kettle on and bring me a nice cup of tea. None of that weedy stuff. Nice strong PG tips. Splash of milk, no sugar. Thank you very much. You bring it up on a tray with some custard creams. Next time I'm coming fishing here with Phil, I'm going to put a pre-order in with you, Mr. Bergin, and either you or your lovely partner can come up with a tray of tea for us with the doily and jammy dodgers. So not the best day today. All I've hooked so far is 3 pieces of toilet roll and a massive trout, which is not a euphemism. See, these big Irwell brownies, they do exist. And it's easier to hook them than land them. Anyway, all you people in YouTube internet land, let me have a check on this battery. I think you're going to be leaving me soon. Let's have a look. Oh, 1%. So, what? If you watch that programme with Lee Evans, is it Lee, whatever he's called, 100%, you are now the 1%, but you don't win anything. Unfortunately, apart from me turning you off. Thanks for